money, pounds, shillings and pence. New money, better money, is dollars and cents. Oh yeah. It's time for Jamaica to get in line. 'Cause new money's coming September 69. It's time for Jamaica to move up ahead. So let's use dollars and cents instead. Oh yes. Old-fashioned money, pounds, shillings and pence. New money, better money, is dollars and cents. Oh yes. It's time for Jamaica to get in line. 'Cause new money's coming September 69. It's time for Jamaica to move up ahead.
What is legal deposit? Legal deposit is a statutory obligation which requires that any organization, commercial or public, and any individual producing any type of documentation in multiple copies be obliged to deposit one or more copies with a recognized national institution. These deposits become a record of the nation's published heritage and development. In 2002, the Legal Deposit Act was passed in Jamaica, and the National Library of Jamaica designated the principal legal depository. It came into operation on the 11th day of October 2004. The law states that 2 copies of a printed document, or 1 copy if it is an audiovisual item, should be deposited with the National Library of Jamaica within 1 month of the publication of the document. Now we are going to respond to some frequently asked questions.
What are the benefits of legal deposits publishers?
The benefits, just think of it, is that you have published your book, you have deposited your CD, your DVD with the National Library of Jamaica. It will be here for 10, 15, 20, 100 years. And just the price, because one of the, as we gave in the definition for legal deposit, is that the country should have a record of its published documents. And so what you're doing, you're contributing to building a national collection. And I think anybody, any patriotic Jamaican should be so pleased to know that I have made a deposit of my book, of my CD, and there's some place in Jamaica where this is, so that later, and not only later, even now, you know, researchers can have access to it. So you are adding to scholarship. Somebody will be benefiting from what you have documented. So I would say that that is a benefit, to think that you have made a contribution so that others can read, listen to, and be informed. In addition to that, I should let you know that the Legal Deposit Act also makes provision for compensation. So it states that you can get back a part, and I shall read what the Act says about getting back. You can get some money. It states that every depositor is entitled to receive from the legal depository, in this case the National Library of Jamaica, a sum equivalent of the production cost of each document deposited. So that's a benefit. That's a monetary benefit. Yes, next question.
It is said that generations to come will have access to our current deposit. What does the National Library do when a format becomes obsolete?
Okay, thank you for that. Each depositor fills out a form when he or she comes in. And on that form that you would have to sign, it states, I hereby grant the legal depository permission to copy, including download, reformat, or refresh for preservation and documentation purposes this particular document. So it means that, you know, technology changes, and you might give us a CD this year, but a few years from now the playback equipment for that is not available. It means that you have given the National Library the permission to reformat that CD to another format, if I may put it that way, so that you can always, and we try to have the playback equipment. You don't have to worry about that.
Is legal deposit a form of copyright?
That's a question. No, it is not a form of copyright. And very often individuals will call, or they come and say, I'm coming to the National Library to copyright my book. You're not coming to copyright your book. The Copyright Act was passed in 1993. And so copyright is automatic. But if I may put it this way, that let's say you have made your deposit at the National Library of your book, your CD, your DVD, and say 20 years, 30 years later, you cannot find a copy anywhere, then the National Library should have it. So it's not a copyright, it's not that we are preserving for copyright, but if there is nowhere else that you can find your document, then your copy should be at the National Library. And there could be a court case where somebody may have infringed on your work, may have said they are the rightful owner of this piece of work, and the fact that you had deposited your work at the National Library, and you can come to us, and that would be proof that in 10 years ago I deposited this with the National Library, and that could be proof. That could provide some proof that you are the copyright owner.
October is Legal Deposit Month. Make your deposit now. Your descendants will be glad you did.